wouldn't let Dave and Josh go until they talk about some events. I'm holding them hostage. Let's talk about some events, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So this year was a pretty incredible year. You know, coming out of 2020, having done nothing, and having Sugarloaf, you know, moving into the gravity aspect of mountain biking. It was a really exciting year this year. You know, we have an annual cross country race. It's 100K, 50K, 25K segments of it, and we've had as many as 700 people attend those races in the past. This year, because of COVID, we wanted to keep the crowds a little lighter, so we capped it at 350. It sold out in
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's when people knew it was open, they jumped in and they signed it, which was great. You know, it speaks a lot to the quality of the event, but also people's pent-up demand to get out there and get back to doing what they're used to doing.
There were also a lot of new faces at the race this year. Like there was the residual crowd that is always around for the race, but in particular this year there was, out of those 350, I bet half of them were first-time racers to our area, so that was really successful.
Exciting.
Yeah.
In August, Sugarloaf hosted the Eastern States Cup Enduro and Downhill.
Huge.
That was a 350 for the Enduro and another, I think, 50 for the Downhill. I understand that event sold out. That was the first time Sugarloaf's, you know, hosted a big event, a big mountain bike event like that in 20 years. It went off without a hitch. You know, big kudos to Adam Craig and Brenna Heritage for putting that together and really pulling a rabbit out of a hat, starting from scratch with no trails in the spring to, you know, hosting, you know, an Eastern Division race here was no small feat. So unbelievable. But they were able to reuse some of that stuff for Trans New England Enduro that came back in September. And I think that was really well attended as well. And then we have our annual mountain bike adventure series that we do with CRNEMBA, where we do guided rides. We finish the day with a barbecue. We do a club annual meeting, a fire. There's some beer drinking goes on there on the fire. So this year was really great to get out and get together again. Next year is action-packed. There's even more events. You know, in June the Eastern Cup is back to Sugarloaf. In July we've got the Carrabassett Backcountry Cycle Challenge. In August the Enduro World Series. We're going to have World Cup racers here, mountain bike World Cup racers here in August next year. Then September Trans New England comes back. We have our MBAS again in September, a mountain bike adventure series. But there are two CRNEMBA events that are really exciting and really large. Carrabassett Valley is the forerunner for hosting these events. One of them is CRNEMBA Fest. This is an event that's taken place at the Kingdom Trails for the last decade or so. It's been as large as 4,000 people. It's envisioned as a smaller event here, but it has the trades are going to be here. There's going to be demo bikes, clinics, music. It's a festival. It's a mountain bike festival.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But also coming, and it looks like this might be in August, the CRNEMBA Women's Summit, where it's actually bringing women from all over New England to come together to ride together. But they are going to do group rides and clinics. There's going to be social events, and they're going to have breakout sessions to, you know, go over everything from bike maintenance to trail advocacy. But it's really hoping to bring in women from all over New England, people who are interested in learning more about mountain biking, or people who are interested in being women that are interested in being taking on some leadership roles in the mountain bike scene. So that's really exciting. Those two things are not completely worked out yet, but it's looking very promising that we'll see those two events this next year as well.
Well, we hope to have you on the program and update that as some of those events come a little bit closer. Build up some enthusiasm for that. And thanks again for joining us here and bringing us up to date with events as well. We appreciate it, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Andy.
We'll take a break.